So my name is Scott Peterson, and I'm actually going to go over my kind of journey through COVID and having a career during COVID-19. I started applying for jobs in December of 2019, looking for a summer internship for 2020. And I actually had several interviews lined up. I actually got 20 hits off my resume. I think more than half of the people that I applied to contacted me about my resume and asked me for an interview. And I actually had a few offers that I did not accept because I didn't think that it was actually going to be a good fit with the company. And then COVID hit and I lost all of my offers, all of my interviews, and I was completely discouraged. But instead of being discouraged and just sitting around, I took a day to think about it. And I was like, you know what? I need to pump myself back up. And I actually talked to Mark and I was like, hey, I can't do this alone. I need some support. And I actually talked to a professor of mine, Professor Thaput, in the BLB, the business department, business professional communication department. She was like, keep on trying. You got this. And she actually encouraged me so much. And it was so interesting for me to go through all these virtual interviews. I had probably about 4 virtual interviews. And then I got contacted in April for working for TD Ameritrade, and they wanted to interview me. And probably about 2 hours before, I was actually extremely nervous. It was the perfect opportunity. It was with a financial company, and it was so perfect. It was close to home if I need to be on campus. And then I also found it was actually going to be remote to keep the employees safe from COVID-19. And I talked to a couple of my mentors, and I was like, I don't know, like it's too good to be true. And they encouraged me, and probably about an hour right before my interview, I actually could feel myself falling apart and getting ready to bomb the interview. And a couple of my professor they put an Mark from Mean Green Mentors talked to me and were like, you've done plenty of interviews in person. A virtual interview actually it's different, but it can be a little easier sometimes. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I've done so many interviews this semester. I need to be more confident in myself and give myself more credit. And I went through the interview, and 2 days later, I got the offer. I accepted it right off the bat. I didn't even have to think about it because during this time of COVID, it was inspiring for me to see that I actually had a great job opportunity to work remotely. And my experience working with TD Ameritrade over the summer has been nothing short of amazing. They actually paid for me to get one of my licenses to speak about financial services. And the networking opportunities have been endless. I mean, even to this day, I'm still working with them for the fall. They kept me on actually. And the networking possibilities are endless. I actually had one-on-ones with the director of trading, and he wanted to talk about the stock market with me. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. I would love to learn from you. And it showed me that during a virtual time and during COVID-19, there's plenty of possibilities out there. There are. You just got to search for them. And you also have to use the services that the Career Center provides. I actually Zoom called a few advisors from the Career Center to ask them to go over my resume and to go over more details of it and how I could increase my chances of getting an internship. And I believe that doing all those things prepared me for an interview virtually. And a big interview actually was something that I used in my professional business communication class. Big interview where we have to go into a big interview and we have to make eye contact. And there's a lot of things that you have to think about when you're doing a virtual interview, making eye contact with the camera and showing that you're diligently making attention, and simple like head nods, like what I'm doing right now, because you can't look too robotic. You have to look natural. And I think everything combined, the Career Center not only prepared me, but got me to where I needed to be in order to interview and get a really great job during probably the worst economic time that we've had in the last 100 years here in the United States. I want to thank everyone here.